Hello, today I want to show how to using Terraform to create a VPC and subnet under the VPC. So first, let me show the diagram that I will create today. So in here we will create the one VPC and we will call the VPC domain VPC, and then under the VPC I will create a subnet. And so for our AWS cloud we will have two VPC. One is default and another one is our demo VPC. So before start it, I want to show the documentation for create the VPC. Yeah, so we can just copy this code and pass to here. But first we need to mention about the we need to provide the location. Yes. The region is, I will put under the US USD-1 and save. And here I open a terminal, and then I also want to show my AWS. So right now only have one default, and the IP address is 172.31.0.0/16. So, and for more we can use in the data and AWS PCS, and we will call the output the list VPC list. And here I will put the command create. So I change it to demo under dash VPC. Create the VPC. Demo VPC. And here I will say fetch the VPC list from my AWS, and for this one we also have another documentation. Yeah, this one is for the AWS for VPC, and another documentation will be under let me see where I put. So usually we can search it in here, say VPC, and hit enter. VPC Yeah, so here have resources, and resources we can find that under the AWS VPC here. And if we need data source, usually we're using this one to fetch the information from the AWS, so we can go there. So we also come back to here, more easy to compare. So here have a resources, and just roll down. There is a data source, and under the data source we can find the AWS VPCS because it will output more than one, so there's S. Yes, so we can come back to here, and after we fetch the file, I will put into the output. So we can see the what the VPC we created, and also the list. So the list will later, when I deploy it will show 2. And output I will say AWS list data and output. Just copy paste. The value will code because it's from here, right? Data list, yeah. And then we can also do this one output, and called domain VPC, and the value will called AWS and the ID. Okay, save and change to IPC, and let me try TRAFORINID int. Before start, let us check the diagram again. So now after I applied, it will create this VPC, and under the AWS, now I refresh, it only have one VPC, which is our default one. So let me come back, waiting for this one int. So maybe we can come here to check the documentation during the waiting it. So this one is data source, because we are not using this one, we're using this one, so it will show IDS, and yeah, and then it finish. We can use in the plan to see what we are created. So plan it. So this ID is our default ID, right? Default VPC ID. We can compare. So 0A9F25, yes, and so this one match to our AWS console. Then we can apply. Make it bigger, and let's come to during the apply. We can come to here, try to refresh. Oh, not yet, not created yet. Let me see. Oh, because we need to type yes. So now it's creating. Output. So this one is our newly created VPC, and in here it show weird stuff. VPC ID output. Oh, this VPCS. PC. Oh yeah, we need to put the IDS in here and save. Let me double check the documentation. So we need to use IDS, and so the newly created VPC ID is this one. 1956. So we can come to here to compare. So the ID is 1956. So it's correct, but the output, because we lost to type this one, we can do it again. Apply. And I forgot to mention, when we created the VPC, we also need to provide the CIDR block. The CIDR block is for the IP, like IP pool for this VPC. We can check in here, like the CIDR block, because I put the 10.0.0.0. So under here it will show us, and we can come back to our Terraform and type yes. So now it will list our VPC ID and also our newly created VPC. Then I will show how to create the sub. So now I will show how, yes, because we already created VPC, and we can create a subnet under the VPC. And in here, my VPC, the CIDR block is 10.0.50.20-60. Yeah, so let me double check. Yeah, so I will give this subnet 10.0.50 0.1.0 and slash AAA 24. Yes. Okay. Let's go back to the Terraform. And now we can this one is list everything ID output, so maybe we don't need this one. Just command this and we keep this output. So now let's go to the documentation again. The documentation for the subnet is in here, resources, AWS subnet, and put the name we want. Yes, and put the this ID need to match to our VPC and the side block. So we can just copy it and under here pass it and edit. So I will call this demo subnet, and the ID, the VPC ID need to match with the VPC we created. In here, and we already using the ID this ID before when we output it, right? So we can copy this one and paste in here. So AWS VPC is matched to here AWS VPC domain VPC ID. Yeah, and in here I will change a little bit 24. Yes, it's correct. And we can put a tag, or now I just want to demo how to create, so we don't put any tag. Then after that, at this, the subnet will be created, and I also want to use in the output so we can more understanding what we are created. So we will call demo subnet ID, and the value there will be like this one, AWS subnet and demo subnet ID. Then we save, Ctrl S to save, and try using the plan first. Oh, before that, let's go to the AWS first. And because we are created the subnet under this VPC, so we come to here to see there is a 0 subnet right now. So let's go back to Terraform here and plan it to see what will happen. VPC, because we command this one, so it will go to the num, and the subnet ID will to apply, then after we read some information from the plan, we can the VPC ID. We can double check. Yes, this one. Yeah. So we can apply. Wait a while. So now it's 0. Let me refresh. Not oh yes, because we need to type yes. Okay, so it's fast. It will output our VPC and also our subnet ID. We can come back to check here and refresh. Load down, yeah, so now it created. Yeah, so this is what I want to show today. Thank you for watching.